I was feeling very abundant today, and I wanted to give away a little bit of some of the secret sauce for you guys inside of this video. A lot of you have been asking me, Devon, obviously you're handsome, but how in how are you not only handsome, but how are you so far beyond your years and also have become so rich and so wealthy and so abundant, and how have you learned these things? I felt on my heart to share these things that I've learned in the journey of becoming this billionaire advice guy and in the making of me becoming this person. And also, I've just been talking to a good amount of you guys on the phone and getting a good understanding of who you guys are, especially with working a lot of people that are, 20, 30 years in their career. And I'm already far ahead of them at a substantially less age. And also talking to people that are complete beginners and people that are worth 50 million, $100 million on a regular basis and really decoding who they are and the patterns of the person that they are. And so we're going to hop into my computer over here. So the main thing is how to get ahead of 99.9% of people. And it really boils down to these simple concepts inside of here. This is like a normal trajectory for most people. They go and work their working lives from the age of 18 up to 60. And it's a very linear growth here. Most people, they get to their retirement and they're retiring with, let's say, anywhere from $1 to $3 million, depending on the market and with inflation and stuff like that. That might change a little bit. But the thing is they're just working and slaving their lives away for a measly million to $3 million at the age of retirement. And obviously, most people aren't even retiring at the age of 60 anymore. Now, at this point, like we don't even know if Social Security is going to even be a thing anymore in the future. And the whole game is very skewed up. Versus for me, I had to go and figure this out from the ground up. I saw the writings on the wall. I saw that if I was going to go to college and I was going to go follow the system, I was going to end up in this place over here. And the lifestyle I wanted was way up over here, like not even on the scale. Once I found out what was even like a cool lifestyle, what even rich was, I realized that I wanted nothing to do with this outcome. I thought this is not enough really to live. I wanted to be able to live this lifestyle on a monthly basis, not a you retire with $1 million and you have to figure out how to spend that for the rest of your life because you can't work anymore and you have to figure out how to make that last like 10, 20, 30 years because you can't work anymore and you got whatever social security. I wanted to have the lifestyle of me being able to have options, me being able to choose to do the things that I want. And here's a few things that I've learned that have allowed me to become that person that is off onto a crazy route at being at an age of 24 and of making, over $3 million a year and being on a pace of being able to do 10, 20, and then my goal, 50, $100 million a year. So first of all, you want to consider like the upside of the thing that you're doing and with the opportunity that you have in front of you. The reason why I dropped out of college is because I realized that the upside of what I was jumping into was very limited or it was going to take me a very long time. The payoff for what I was doing was I was in a degree, going to school for a degree of computer science. And I saw the writings on the wall that the cap that I was gonna be making I was gonna have a much far greater income than the average person, but I realized that I was gonna be a dance monkey for other people. I was gonna have to show up and the programming was fun, but I had to show up regardless of whether how I felt or not, and I had to go build somebody else's thing and help my value that I was providing to the company was gonna provide the 100x the value of what I was actually putting into it. And so I did not want that to be the case. I was thinking of how I could game the system and everything. But as soon as I found an opportunity that had substantially more upside than what I was already heading down, I went all in and I jumped into that. And so for me, I came to the realization that you can't get this from any sort of job or some sort of, thing where there is like a limitation on the earning potential that you could possibly have. And so you need to ask yourself, what are the opportunities that have $100,000 a year opportunity on the upside or things that have, let's say, 10x the earning opportunity that has substantially more opportunity. And the thing is when I went and evaluated the market and I really locked myself into a room and confronted this reality of this truth of like where I was wanting to head with my life, I came to one epiphany, one realization. And it was a salary is something that is never going to get you to a point where you have an infinite upside or an upside that doesn't have a limit. And so I strived far and wide to find the thing that had no upside. May have been a little bit harder to get into, but I was up for the challenge. I was up for looking for something that had a much higher, more infinite upside. And so the issue is most people, The issue is most people is they're finding opportunities that the most that they can make is, let's say, 5,000, 10,000, maybe 20, $30,000 a month. Maybe you can get to some careers, you can get to where you're doing $500,000 a month. I didn't want to have my upside capped at something like that. Now, obviously, that's a good amount of money to be able to do a good amount of stuff in life, but I wanted to have options. I wanted to have freedom. That's what I chose for myself. And so I just strove for big, huge, audacious goals. I wanted to be able to do whatever the fuck I wanted with my life. And that was very important to me. That was one of the values that I held so dear and close to my heart because I felt like that is something that if it's an option, I wanted to be able to have that option. And so I had this, the saying goes that you will receive the lowest standard that you tolerate. And my standard that I was willing to tolerate was up here. It was the big buckaroonies. It was doing something big with my life. I was not willing to tolerate a mediocre or an average life. Maybe an above average, I wanted to feel like I was doing something with my life, but I really wanted to strive for being able to do some really amazing, incredible things with my life. And so the opportunities that I allowed myself to work were only opportunities that fit into this category over here, not in the ones that were very limiting on the upside. And so what I found was business and developing high income skills like sales and marketing and copywriting and business acquisition and maybe some high end managerial skills, but skill sets that were very uncapped as far as the scale. So I got in actually with sales. That's the first thing that I learned. I went and sold vacuum cleaners in people's houses. And I made maybe $15,000, $20,000 doing that over a summer after as a freshman in college. And that skill set has now translated to me to making millions of dollars a year just because I learned that skill set from this thing that I learned. And so you want to find these skill sets and these things that are high enough level of skill sets that they can go and do anything. But you can do this with like maybe computer programming as well, but you also have to have a vision and marketing in order to have a big skill set. So I understood like programming, but that was going to have a very tapped potential. I had to stack it with some of these other skills. So you want to first of all look at what is the stream that you're on. As Warren Buffett says, it's not about how hard you row, but instead it's about what stream you're on. So you want to look at the streams that you're on and what is the stream that is in front of you and how fast is that going to move you versus you having to row uphill. You never want to find something where it's like an uphill battle. You want to find the economies and the markets that you're able to jump into and you're able to succeed with the least amount of resistance possible. Like Elon Musk, when he founded Tesla, he built it at the right time in like this Goldilocks era of technology and of the environmental changes that the government and policies that the government was doing. They were able to get this company launched and off the ground, and they were able to get, I think it was like $500 million in funding that was able to allow them to help launch Tesla. So he went in, got into the market, bought someone else's company. He didn't even found Tesla. He found someone else that was in the market. And then I think couple short years, if not even that long, he was able to build a product that was able to get out to the market enough to where the government was able to fund the company and give him an extra like $500 million to help launch Tesla. And because of that, because he was in the right market, right opportunity, right place, he was able to, it didn't take him 30 years of being in the green industry to be able to create a company that was worth $1 billion. Instead, it just took him a few short years because he had the right time in the right place and he found the right market. Obviously, he sold PayPal for a bunch of money by that time, but he was able to jump in and he did the same thing for SpaceX and he did the same thing for Solar City. So it's all about the timing of the market and finding things that are able to align with your skill set. So I'm a big believer of developing these skill sets all in the knowing of in the future, there's going to be other ways that you can pivot and write off of it. So for me, I took sales to learn real estate. And after learning real estate, I was able to learn YouTube. And with learning the skill set of YouTube, I was able to jump around different markets. And I went from after putting in the hours and spending lots of time making content, I was able to make $3,000 a month. And from there, I pivoted over to a different strategy. After just 10 days, I was making $3,000 a day because I found an opportunity with a higher upside and something that was able to leverage my skills, and the upside was there right in front of me. So the first thing is take a big grand look at the upside of what you're doing. Now, this next thing, which kind of parlays into what I was just talking about at the end of that point, is finding out what your strengths are versus your weaknesses. And I think once you really understand your personality and what it looks like, the better you're going to be able to provide value to the marketplace. And so for me, so I guess here's a good strategy to go find these strengths and these weaknesses, because everybody has a completely different personality. Everybody has a different kind of skill set and life experience, and you have to discover it in yourself and how that provides value to the marketplace. And then once you figure out who you are as a person, then you need to find people that are like you with your kind of similar personality style, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and where people who are where you want to be, which is the next point, but we're not going to get into that yet. And studying what they did with that. But and seeing how they lean into their strengths and their weaknesses. Some ideas to really go and find what your strengths and weaknesses are is there's a thing called 16personalities.com. It's a Myers-Briggs personality test. You guys can go and check that out. Go take it. I definitely recommend. I am like a ENFJ. I'm like a, I forget. I'm telling you guys about this point. I don't remember the exact personality, but I am somebody who is a little bit more, I'm extroverted. I'm somebody who is more like a visionary and more of the optimist of like, here's the direction that we are heading. And so for me, I work best and I thrive best in talking to people and coming up with the vision and the idea and the direction of things. For me, I'm a very big visionary. I'm good at coming up with the ideas and the direction of where we are heading with things. The other thing as well is I'm able to come up with a crystal clear vision. I'm able to see around corners that other people can't see. But then some of my weaknesses is like operations I suck at. Not to say that I like can't do it and I can't get things done, but like kind of organization and operations, that is something that is not necessarily my strength. I have to work extra hard at this versus some other people, they're huge at operations. They just suck at vision. So what you need to do is you need to figure out which personality you are. If you're more of a people person, if you're more introverted, if you're better working with people, if you're better working by yourself. For me, I don't really get stuff done unless there's external pressure and other people counting on me. So I found that in order for me to get shit done, then I need to have other people that are relying on me and that need me for them to be able to succeed. And so anytime that I'm in the way of their success, it forces me to work harder. And that is a position or a condition that I thrive in personally. Not everybody is the same exact way. And because I know that in myself, it's very simple what I need to do in order for me to get the most out of myself and my personality. So the things that I have to do just from life experience of working with so many different people and trying so many different things out is I thrive best being the head of something and being the head of something and kind of just making sure that the vision is there's that we are constantly heading towards the vision and course correcting if we go off on the wrong path. I'm very good at listening to intuition and what my gut tells me, and that is something that I am very strong at. Versus operationally, for the longest time, it was very difficult for me to make progress on things that were not my strengths, which is like organization and creating systems. So for me, I always had to bring systematically strong people around me. And once I found out that of these strengths, either I would move more into a consultant position and I would be a consultant for people that were more this operator role or administrative role, or the other aspect is I would hire people that were that strength. So either I would become, and you can do the flip side is if you're like more of an operational strong person, you don't have to necessarily partner with everybody left and right, or you don't have to find a business partner. But what you can do is you can do like some consulting gigs with people that are more visionaries and you can set up the systems and the operations. What I did is I just went and paid 20 grand just yesterday to somebody that was operationally strong to help me build the systems in my company that already has it really dialed. And then I can plug my vision into their systems. And then now I have a really badass system in my company. So for me, I'm always looking for people that already have the systems. And then I plug in my idea or my direction into their systems or myself into that. And then I'm able to expedite my growth exponentially. So you need to figure out, that's how me personally, once I understood this stuff, now I understood what I need to focus on and what areas I need to spend more of my time on, because things that are more visionary work for me is probably worth, let's say $10,000 an hour versus something that is like my value of my skill set. Let's say something operationally is somebody that's, let's say like a $50 an hour employee or something like that. And so what I have to do is I find the people that are able to plug into these that are a lot cheaper than my time, that I can plug into these things that are my weak points. And so I was able to, as soon as I started able to understand, this really was a catalyst of my growth personally. As I started to understand it better, and as I started to meet more people and realize how unoriginal of an experience I have, then I was able to really understand that this is normal and these strengths and these weaknesses are okay, and that it's okay if I don't do everything. Because I think one thing that we grow up trying to think is that we gotta be good at all these things. But instead, what I found is you gotta be instead of what people think is you have to be, you have to be like good at all these different kind of categories at the same time. Let's say these are bars and these are let's say if you're a video game character and you have like upgraded, just a little bit in all points. You have let's say you have 20 points, you can upgrade all of these different personalities or these skill sets. You put 5 into each of these different categories, and then you're like a very kind of balanced person. Versus instead, the people that are the best, let's say if you're playing like World of Warcraft or some sort of game like that, the people that are the best at like the best way that it works at is instead of putting all these points into everything, you just put all your points into one thing. And this is the character that is able to kill the dragons and win the game. So for me, I'm looking for my strengths and I try to put all of my points that I can into here. Now, don't get me wrong, I've played into all of these other parts as well, and I understand how they all work. But now more and more, I put my time into my points of growth into the things that I am best at. At the beginning, I had to do this to kind of balance things out. But then as soon as I started to really understand my strengths and my weaknesses, then I started putting all my points into the things that I am good at, and then just compensating for the things that I'm bad at with other people or surrounding myself with hiring people that are able to come in for as consultants or temporary partners or people that I've hired for my company and my team. If you want to get ahead of 99.9% of people in life, you need to understand your strengths and your weaknesses in this world and with business or just in your skill sets, because as soon as you understand that, then you're able to find the things that kind of pair well with that. And so that brings me over to my third point over here. And that is finding people who are the ones that you want to be. So for me, I wanted to live a very exceptional life. I wanted Lamborghinis. I wanted to be able to travel the world. I wanted to be able to do cool stuff. I wanted to say fuck you to the people that I went to school with and just show them that I was going to be able to be way more than they thought I was ever or whatever. All the jokes and all the laughs at me. That's a story for another part. But I always wanted to be this exceptional person in life. I never wanted to be somebody that was lame. And I understood this in school. I always had a tough time. Like in school, I never really paid attention and I could never really listen to people. And I'm very happy that I did. Like I always tried to be a good student, but I think just the mentors were very uninspiring. They drove like a freaking Toyota Camry to school and they had some dead end career. And I never wanted to be anything like these people. The same with college. I had a little bit of an upgrade. But as soon as I found these other mentors that were doing stuff with their life, to be honest, people like Ty Lopez or Alex Becker or Sam Ovens or Grant Cardone, people they have jets and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and they're doing like cool stuff with their life. As soon as I saw let me separate this. As soon as I saw these people that were doing these things, that were living the life that I wanted, I dedicated my entire life to studying every single aspect of them to a weird level. Maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't want a bunch of you guys turning into weirdos here. I don't mind having, I guess, a crazy loyal fan base, and I'll give you guys a sauce. But what I would do is like down to the level of trying to understand who they are as a person, why they make the decisions they make, down to like I drink just like freaking San Pellegrinos because I think it was like Kanye West said something about it, and then saying sparkling. What do you know about sparkling or still? But anyways, I would study these people and I would try to become more like them every single day. So you can imagine just this weird, awkward ass introverted kid that was me when I was in college. I would every single day that I could, I would move in the direction of these people. I would study the things that they would do. I would study the decisions that they would make. I would study the way that they would go about life and the way that they would go about thinking of things. Even down to the point where I was emulating them and how they do things. If you guys have seen my channel, I've been watching it for a little bit, you'll notice I actually had my YouTube channel. I was doing it inside of a garage and I had my supercar in the background. And that is because my mentors or the people that I looked up to learning business were doing that. They had a cool car and they had it in the background, and that was their style. That was their swag. I always wanted to have the supercar. I always knew it was part of the thing. As soon as I bought my supercar, I didn't think anything much of it other than I was like, hell yeah, this is going to be good for content. It's fun. You get to drive it around and you can go fast down empty roads when there's no one around. But the thing is just, I always just wanted to be like these people. The people that were inspiring people, the people that were making changes in the world, the people that had options in their life, the people that were doing things that were really freaking cool in life. These are the people that I aspired to be. And so what I did is I said, screw anybody that is not that. As in, no disrespect to any of these people that are, let's say, this average life or this mediocre life. Mediocre. Anybody that was this average or mediocre life, no disrespect to any of them, but what do they know about money, or what do they know about what I should do with my life? And so any of these people, I wouldn't even fancy. It was like as if there was just like I had blinders on. As soon as I started hearing advice from somebody that didn't have what I wanted in life and weren't the person that I wanted to become, I did not listen to them. Not in a like I would be respectful, but I would not listen to these people. And it got to a point where I just turned these people off from my life, and I just wouldn't hang out with them or talk with them or try to spend time with them because I wanted this lifestyle here. I wanted the girls, I wanted the girls, I wanted the cars, I wanted the fancy lifestyle. And then once I got the girls, cars, fancy lifestyle, house parties, and doing a bunch of traveling the world, going to Bali and Europe and music festivals and all sorts of stuff like that and doing cool shit. Then I found, okay, this is cool. And this isn't everything though. And this is just part of the lifestyle that comes with being this person. And now it's like, it's just who I am. It's fun. It's cool. It's not like the holy grail in my life. I just want to have options in my life. And I want to be able to, if I want to go travel to another city, I can do it without having to ask for any permission. I can go drive whatever car I want to do. I can go shopping and spend whatever I want to spend when I go shopping. And so that is the person I wanted to become. And so every day I ruthlessly chased after becoming that person. So this also ties into the last point of strengths and weaknesses is if you can find the mentors that have your strengths and weaknesses and like your same personality type and the personality type that you gravitate towards, study what they're doing in that person a little bit more than maybe some of the other people. And understand, I got down to where I would study their story. I would go watch any sort of interview or podcast that they had. I would consume every single piece of content. And I still go back to these people I used to watch 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. I would still watch their content to this day when they were in their growth phase of where I'm at now. And I study it to see like how they were talking to people that was like me 4, 5, 6 years ago and see how they do it. So then I can slowly keep becoming more and more like the person that they are now, 10 years into the career when they've sold their companies for $150 million and stuff like that. Like people like Alex Ramosi, the Grant Cardones, I don't know, the Mr. Beast, like all these people. I've seen a lot of these people on their growth trajectory. And a lot of them I caught when they were in these early stages. And I was over down here when it came to the process. I was down over here. And I realized I wanted to be these people. And then now they're over here. And it just validates everything that I was thinking and the ways that I was looking at things. And so now every day, now that I'm at this spot right here, I'm studying these people to become this person up here. So the main thing is this never ends, but find the people that you want to be and emulate them. Study what they're doing. I know I've talked over this point a bunch, but find the people that are who you want to be and become them. So the last thing that I think, really changed my life that brings insane amounts of energy over to me. I think this is a good one for if you guys are like, Devon, how do you stay motivated all day? How do you go, like, I see you everywhere. Like people, I get on calls all the time. They're just like, Devon, I see your tweets all the time. I see your videos all the time. I see your face everywhere. You're doing lots of stuff. And it's because I have insane amounts of energy and because I have cultivated this person that I am now. And I wasn't always this person. I used to have no energy. I used to have, like I could barely get out of bed in the morning. But what changed is when I saw the gift that I have as a person and the gift that I can give to people and how that impacts people's lives. The amount of people that have changed their life from basically almost homelessness to where they are able to go golfing 4 days a week and not have to think about how much food costs or go to the grocery store and being able to buy their girlfriend nice things or their wife nice things. The amount of people that have changed and I've seen the actual impact of the change that I've made in their life has rewired my brain in such a different way that I know that there's like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of millions of people out there that are just like those people and who were ultimately just like myself and in that place of insecurity and and just wondering if they're like what all there is to life. As soon as I started to actually, talk to these people and see what the change and the effect of that is as it had on my life, I have never had more energy in my life. So here's the thing. We all have been in a position of some sort of darkness, of some sort of, let's say that we have a cloud here, and we've all had our rainy days. And we have also all have our very bright sunny days, and we have made it through this journey. Each and every one of us, whether it be something small as to how you used to get a 3% CTR on your YouTube video thumbnails, and then now you have a 10% click through rate. You know, how you had a video that you would normally get 10 views a video, and now you're at 100,000 views a video. We all have something. You used to suck at cooking, and then now you're better at cooking. And we all have something in us from where we have gone from a change and we have become better in our lives. And what I will say is that when you share this and you paint a picture of how you used to just be like those people and I used to have face that problem and how you overcame it, and you share that with the world, you are not, you are, this is going to be crazier energy than you're going to get from any sort of drug in your life. This is going to be a crazier energy than anything that you could possibly imagine in life. Is the more amount of pain and suffering and just issues that you've ran into, and on the other side of it that you have solved, and you can package this into a story that you can share with somebody in a quick conversation or a social media post or somebody that you're talking with, and you share this with people, you are going to not comprehend how you have so much energy in your life. And so what I will say is paint a picture of these things and give it out to people as blessings and as gifts. And what you will find is that this value and this gift that you have, whether it be something in business, how you got a job, how you got a good grade in school, how you got like how you made it past, and you have some and you run into somebody else that's in a similar situation, or you just put it out there for people that are in that similar situation, the world is going to return so much back to you that you can never comprehend. I wouldn't say you can never comprehend that, but more than you can ever imagine. And I will say this is the point in my life that I am reaching now, is the more that I can share from the amount of misery and experiences and the amount of failures and the amount of lessons I had to learn that had all this pain and suffering that I experienced in this process and this development, this character development of becoming this main character in life and being able to do cool stuff and becoming rich in my young years, in my 20s, in my mid 20s, being able to live whatever lifestyle on hell that in the world that I could ever imagine, and sharing how I went through this whole process just expedites it significantly more each and every day. And all these little lessons and journeys that I have learned along the pathway, and the more that I share these with people, the more it helps change and transform other people's lives. So what you need to do if you want to become this person that is having exponential growth is find the things that you have done in your life and package them up and share them with the world, because you are selfish if you are not. You could save so many lives. You could save so many people's, so much time in people's lives. And that is so much value that you're giving to the world. And so if you can figure out how to package this value up and share it with people, you're going to have people left and right coming from who knows where, giving you the sustenance or the substance that you need in order for you to accelerate your life or save yourself a headache or to make more money or to have more and more full of a life and more abundance in life than you can ever imagine. And so the choice is yours. This is how I went from having completely nothing in life, becoming a college dropout, to becoming somebody that is a 99.999% person in this world. And I'm handing it to you on a silver platter on how you can go and apply this to your life. It is your turn now. It is up to you to go apply this and actually go and change your life. And I am here in every step of the journey in the fact of just the mindset of, I want this for you. I know that there are some of you watching this and want this really badly. And for all the people that are like, oh, Devon, I want the tactical thing, I want the actual work. This isn't for you. This isn't advice, isn't for those people. This is for those of you that have a big vision and a big dream, and you know that there are things out there in this world that you can go and have access to. After watching this, realize that these are the things and the bottlenecks, the things that are in your way, the walls that you needed to smash through in order to go live this life that is for you. And it's not some chain to a desk, have to become this lame ass person that has all the life sucked out of you. So the choice is yours. I presented you the information. Are you going to take advantage of what I just gave you guys?